Chapter 1. Understanding the Nuclear Threat. Before you can learn to survive, you must first understand the enemy. And in this case, the enemy is fire, shock, and silence, combined into one weapon: nuclear weapons. They are not like conventional bombs. They are not even like chemical or biological weapons. A nuclear detonation is a sun born on Earth for a fraction of a second, scorching everything within reach. The blast. The first killer is the blast. Imagine standing near a skyscraper when the ground begins to heave like a wave. The shock wave from a nuclear explosion travels at hundreds of meters per second. Concrete walls fold like paper. Windows turn into clouds of glass daggers. Cars flip like toys. The closer you are, the less chance you have. At ground zero, survival is impossible. But survival was never the point for those unlucky enough to be there. The true focus is everyone outside the core, the millions who can still live if they know what to do. The heat. Next comes the thermal pulse. A fireball, hotter than the surface of the sun, expands outward. In an instant, it turns night into day. Human skin burns at 55 degrees Celsius. The thermal pulse? Thousands. Clothing ignites, asphalt melts, wood bursts into flame without a spark. In Hiroshima, people standing on bridges were reduced to blackened silhouettes, burned into stone. And yet even here, some survived. A single wall, a building corner, even diving into water gave protection. The difference between death and survival was often measured in meters. Radiation. The third killer is silent. Gamma rays, neutrons, invisible beams that slice through flesh and bone, tearing apart cells. Acute radiation sickness begins with nausea, vomiting, fatigue. It ends with hair falling out, skin sloughing away, organs failing. But radiation does not kill everyone instantly. Distance, time, and shielding can make the difference. Those who understood this lived. Those who didn't never had the chance. Fallout, the invisible rain. But even after the fireball fades, the sky itself becomes a weapon. As the mushroom cloud climbs into the atmosphere, it carries billions of particles, dust, ash, fragments of soil, all made radioactive by the explosion. Hours later, those particles drift back to Earth as fallout, a deadly, invisible rain. It coats rooftops. It contaminates water. It seeps into soil. Step outside unprotected, and each breath brings poison into your lungs. Drink untreated water, and death becomes a matter of days. But here too, knowledge saves. Radiation decays rapidly. After 7 hours, radiation falls by a factor of 10. After 48 hours, by 100. Stay sheltered long enough, and survival becomes more than possible. It becomes likely. The EMP, a silent blackout. There is one more effect often forgotten: the electromagnetic pulse, or EMP. If a nuclear bomb detonates high in the atmosphere, it may not destroy buildings, but it can fry electronics across entire continents. No power, no internet, no communications. In a moment, the modern world is pushed back a century. Survival becomes not only about the body, but about the mind, the ability to adapt without technology. The psychology of fear. Narrator voice slows, contemplative. Nuclear war is not only fought with weapons, it is fought with terror. The flash, the fire, the silence after, these are designed to paralyze, to make people freeze, to make them give up. But fear is a weapon you can resist. Survival begins the moment you decide not to surrender. The blast may be unavoidable, the fallout may be invisible, but your will, the decision to live, can carry you through when others fall. historical lessons. Let us look back, not at theories, but at history. Hiroshima, 1945. The bomb fell at 8:15 a.m. Nearly everything within 2 kilometers was destroyed. Yet some lived because they sought shelter in basements, because they moved away from windows, because they acted. Nagasaki, 1945. A valley shielded parts of the city. People in those natural shelters, though devastated, survived. Chernobyl, 1986. Not a bomb, but a meltdown. Radiation released was catastrophic, yet those who evacuated quickly and those who avoided contaminated food and water lived long lives. Fukushima, 2011. Again, radiation spread. Again, survival depended on knowledge, evacuating the zone, avoiding exposure, and maintaining calm. The lesson is clear. Nuclear disasters are not certain death. Survival is possible, always. Why survival matters? Some will say, if the bombs fall, I don't want to live. But consider this. Survival is not only about you, it is about your family, your children, the future of humanity itself. If everyone gave up, the story of humanity would end in one night of fire. But if enough fight to live, if enough endure, the story continues. That is why survival matters, not just for you, but for all of us. So now we know the threat. We understand the fire, the blast, the radiation, the fallout. The question remains, what do we do about it? The answer lies not in fear, but in preparation, because survival does not begin the day the bombs fall. It begins today.
Chapter 2. Preparing before the disaster. Survival does not begin when the bomb explodes. It begins long before. Preparation is not paranoia, it is wisdom. Those who prepare may live. Those who do not, will not. The shelter, your first line of defense. Your first protection is not a gun, not a weapon, not even food. It is where you are. When the fireball rises and fallout begins, walls become the thin line between life and death. The ideal shelter, an underground bunker, reinforced with concrete and steel, thick walls, sealed doors, air filters. Few have them, but those who do drastically increase their odds. The practical shelter, a basement. Even a simple concrete basement reduces radiation by more than 80%. Every meter of earth, every wall of stone cuts exposure. The improvised shelter. No basement, no bunker? Then go where mass surrounds you. Subway tunnels, underground garages, the core of large buildings. Even books, water barrels, and furniture stacked against walls create shielding. In nuclear war, every wall is a weapon. Every layer between you and the outside sky is survival. The 72-hour go bag. Preparation means mobility. If you must move, you cannot leave empty-handed. Every household should have a go bag, a survival kit designed to sustain 72 hours of life. Inside must be food, lightweight, high-calorie, long shelf life, energy bars, canned goods, dried fruit. Water, at least 3 liters per person, plus purification tablets or portable filters. Protection, gas masks or respirators, goggles, gloves, sturdy clothing. Medical, first aid kit, prescription medicines, potassium iodide tablets to protect your thyroid from radioactive iodine. Tools, flashlight, batteries, knife, multi-tool, lighter, duct tape. Communication, a hand crank or battery-powered radio. When the grid collapses, radio waves may be the last source of truth. Do not wait until sirens wail to pack. When the blast comes, there is no time. The go bag must already be waiting. Stockpiling essentials. But 72 hours is only the beginning. Fallout lingers. Civil order collapses. Supplies vanish. Water, the first priority. Store it sealed, in clean containers. A human lasts 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. 20 liters per person is a minimum. Food. Focus on what lasts. Rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, powdered milk. Store what you eat what you store. Rotate supplies. Light and power. Batteries die, the grid fails. Solar chargers, crank-powered lamps, and backup batteries keep you alive in the dark. Medical supplies. Antiseptics, bandages, painkillers, antibiotics if possible. A simple infection untreated can kill when hospitals are gone. Psychological survival. In silence and darkness, the mind falters. Books, cards, pencils, a notebook. Hope and distraction are as vital as food. Knowledge, the invisible tool. Narrator, serious, deliberate. Knowledge weighs nothing, but it can be the most valuable survival tool of all. Learn first aid. Learn how to filter water with sand and charcoal. Learn how to start a fire with nothing but friction. Print instructions. Laminate them. The internet may vanish, but paper can endure. Those who know survive. Those who guess perish. The family plan. When disaster strikes, panic reigns. Phones fail. Streets clog. If your family knows the plan, where to meet, where to shelter, what to do, they will not be swept into chaos. Choose a primary meeting point. Choose a backup. Practice. Because in the terror of the moment, memory fails. Habit remains. Narrator. The family without a plan is a family already lost. The mental game. Perhaps the hardest preparation is not physical, but mental. Most people deny nuclear war is possible. They say it will never happen. But history whispers otherwise. The Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, accidents averted by seconds, by luck, by the calm hand of one officer who chose not to launch. Denial is deadly. Those who deny freeze. Those who freeze die. The prepared may tremble, but they move, and that movement is survival. The cost of ignorance. Narrator, solemn. In Hiroshima, some saw the strange white light and walked toward windows to look. The glass shattered into them. They died instantly. Others dropped to the floor, hid behind walls, crawled under tables. They lived. The difference was not luck. It was instinct. It was knowledge. Ignorance kills. Preparation saves. The calm before the storm. Right now, as you listen, the world may feel calm. Markets bustle. Cities glow. Families eat dinner in peace. But history teaches safety is fragile. Empires fall. Wars ignite. Disasters strike without warning. The question is not if a disaster comes. The question is when. And when it does, what will you have? An empty cupboard? Or a stocked shelter? Panic? Or a plan? Fear? Or knowledge? So we prepare, with walls, with water, with food, with plans. Because the day will come when the flash appears on the horizon. And on that day, the prepared will not freeze. They will act, and they will live.
Chapter 3. The moment of the blast. It has happened. The missiles are in the sky. The alarms wail. And then the world goes white. What you do in the next seconds will decide everything. This is the moment of the blast. The first flash, 0 to 10 seconds. A nuclear detonation begins with light, blinding, white, brighter than the sun. If you see it, you have less than 2 seconds to act. Do not look. Do not stand frozen. Drop, face down, hands overhead, mouth open to equalize pressure when the shockwave hits. If you're near a wall, get behind it. If you're indoors, stay away from windows. If in a car, get low. Those who stare at the flash will be blinded even miles away. Those who hesitate will be shredded by glass and fire. In nuclear war, action in the first second is the difference between life and death. The shockwave, 10 to 30 seconds. The flash is followed by silence, a strange, breathless stillness. And then it comes, the shockwave. Buildings splinter, trees rip from the earth. The air itself becomes a hammer, slamming everything flat. If you're lying low, you may endure. If you are standing, you may be flung like a rag doll. Concrete walls fold, cars tumble, shards of glass rain down like knives. The shockwave kills more than fire. It crushes lungs, bursts eardrums, smashes bone. But if you're flat, if you're shielded, you may live through it. The first fire, 30 to 60 seconds. Next comes fire. The thermal pulse ignites everything: clothing, rooftops, forests. Asphalt bubbles, wood bursts into flame, metal glows. Even miles away, exposed skin burns in seconds. If your clothes ignite, drop and roll. Smother the flames. If you can, pour water. Cover yourself. In Hiroshima, one man survived by diving into a river a few meters from the blast. A wall of water became his shield. In nuclear war, survival is measured in seconds and in meters. The first hour. If you are alive after the blast, you are not safe. The true killer now begins: fallout. Radioactive ash rises in the mushroom cloud and begins to drift down. It looks harmless, like dust, like snow. It is death. Do not touch, do not breathe, do not eat or drink anything exposed to it. Within 15 to 30 minutes, fallout will begin coating the world around you. That is all the time you have to find shelter. Finding shelter. Your mission in the first hour: hide from fallout. Best case, underground bunker or basement, deep and sealed. Second best, large, thick-walled building, center rooms with no windows. Last resort, dig a trench, lie flat, and cover with earth, wood, or anything that blocks radiation. Every inch of shielding cuts your dose. Books, water barrels, furniture, even soil. Use physics as your armor. The rule of time. Radiation obeys the law of decay. After 7 hours, it drops to 1/10 its initial power. After 48 hours, to 100th. After 2 weeks, most fallout is weak enough to step outside briefly. This is the rule of 7-10. Survive the first hours, wait out the first days, and the future may yet be yours. Decontamination. If you are caught outside when fallout begins, you must decontaminate. Strip off outer clothing. It removes 90% of particles. Seal clothes in a plastic bag, far from living areas. Wash hair and skin with soap and clean water. Do not scrub until bleeding. Broken skin lets radiation in deeper. No water? Wipe with a damp cloth. Anything is better than nothing. The first decisions. This hour is the crucible. Do you panic or act? Do you run blindly into the open or seek cover? Do you waste precious minutes or prepare for days underground? Most who die in nuclear war die in the first hour. Most who survive it live for years. The bomb decides nothing. Your decisions decide everything. The psychology of the blast. There will be screams. There will be chaos. Neighbors will beg for help. Some will run outside, desperate. Your instinct will be to follow, to move, to act. But the most dangerous thing after a nuclear blast is exposure. To save yourself, you must resist the urge. Patience is survival. Discipline is survival. Will is survival. A survivor's story. In Nagasaki, a woman lived because she was inside a reinforced building. When the bomb detonated, she dropped flat. The roof collapsed, the windows shattered, the walls shook. But she lived. She lived through the blast. She lived through the fallout. And decades later, she told her story. Her survival came not from strength, not from luck, but from simple instinct. She dropped. She hid. She waited. If you survive the blast, you have won the first battle, but the war is not over. Now comes the greater test: fallout, hunger, thirst, fear. The question is not how to survive 1 hour. The question is how to survive 2 weeks.
Chapter 4: Surviving the Fallout. You survived the flash. You survived the blast. You survived the first hour. But now, the true test begins. For in the days ahead, the sky itself becomes your enemy. The black rain. Minutes after the mushroom cloud rises, the heavens open. But it is not water that falls. It is dust, ash, death drifting down from the sky. Survivors of Hiroshima called it kuroi ame, the black rain. It stained clothes, it poisoned wells, it carried invisible death into every breath, every sip of water. This is fallout, and for the next 14 days, it is the greatest threat to your life. The first 48 hours. Fallout is most deadly immediately after detonation. If you are in a proper shelter, stay there. Do not look outside. Do not open doors. Do not wander. Radiation is a fire you cannot see, but it will burn you all the same. After 7 hours, its strength drops to 1/10. After 48 hours, it falls to 1/100th. Every hour you wait, the danger shrinks. Every unnecessary step into the open risks death. Patience is life. Inside the shelter. So you wait. Hours blur into days, days into a suffocating silence. The outside world burns, but within your walls, you cling to life. What you must do: seal cracks, tape them, stuff them with cloth. Do not let the dust creep inside. Stay central. The middle of the shelter shields you best. Radiation comes from every angle outside. Ration. What was 3 meals becomes 1. Water is sipped, not gulped. Each drop is sacred. Mark time. Scratch the wall, write on paper. Count hours, count days. Routine is sanity. Without it, the silence will eat you alive. Hunger and thirst. Your stomach growls, your lips crack. The body can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. If your stored water runs low, desperation tempts you to drink from outside. Do not. Not yet. Fallout contaminates rivers, lakes, even rainfall. If you must, filter through sand, charcoal, cloth, then boil. But no, it may not save you fully. Better to endure thirst than invite death. The medicine of survival. Radiation sickness comes in cruel waves. Stage 1, nausea, vomiting, headache. Stage 2, a false recovery. Symptoms fade, hope rises. Stage 3, the collapse. Hair falls, bleeding begins, organs fail. Few escape stage 3, but mild exposure can be survived. Potassium iodide tablets protect the thyroid. If you have them, take them immediately. If not, avoid milk and leafy greens. They concentrate radiation. Treat wounds obsessively. Wash, bandage. Infection is as deadly as fallout when no hospital waits outside. The silence. Perhaps the most dangerous threat is not hunger, nor thirst, nor even radiation. It is silence. The silence of being sealed underground. The silence of wondering if the world has ended. The silence of not knowing who else lives. In that silence, the mind begins to unravel. Anxiety, hallucinations, despair. This is why preparation must also include hope. Books, games, a deck of cards, a notebook to write in. Hope is oxygen for the mind. Without it, survival collapses long before the body does. The community question. At some point, you may hear it. A knock at the door. A neighbor. A stranger. A child. Do you open? Community multiplies survival long term, but in the short term, it may mean death. Too many mouths, too little food, too little water. There is no easy answer. Each choice carries a cost. But know this, every ally is also a risk. Every stranger at your door may become your future, or your doom. Day 7. The first glimpse. After a week, radiation has dropped tenfold. Some survivors may dare to venture outside. Minutes only, covered head to toe. Move fast, gather food, water, medicine. Return quickly. Decontaminate immediately. Do not linger, do not explore. Curiosity kills. Day 14. The threshold. 2 weeks. This is the threshold. By now, fallout has decayed enough that the outside is no longer immediate death. Short trips become possible. Hunting, fishing, searching for others. The time of hiding ends. The time of rebuilding begins. The lesson of fallout. Fallout is not invincible. It fades. It weakens. It can be outlasted. But only if you endure. Only if you survive the first 14 days. Those who do become the first citizens of a new world. A survivor's memory. In Nagasaki, a man hid in his basement. He rationed rice. He sipped water. He waited 2 weeks before stepping out. When he emerged, the city was ash, silent, empty. But he was alive, and in the ruins he found others. Together, they began again. Not because they were the strongest, not because they were the luckiest, but because they endured. Transition to next chapter. Fallout is not the end. It is only the middle. If you survive the blast and you endure the fallout, you now face the final test. The test of living in a broken world. Food, water, medicine, trust, community. The question is no longer how to survive. The question is how to rebuild.
Chapter 5. Rebuilding after the apocalypse. You survived the flash. You endured the fallout. You waited in silence for 14 long days. Now, the world that greets you is not the world you left behind. The cities are husks. The streets lie silent. Power lines sag, lifeless. Fields are poisoned with ash. And yet, you are still here. And as long as you live, there is hope. The first steps outside. When you first emerge, the air will feel heavy, the silence unnatural. Your first task is assessment. Is the air safe? Use a Geiger counter if you have one. If not, trust the rule of 7 to 10. After 2 weeks, short exposure is survivable. Is the water safe? Assume no. Test, filter, boil. Are there survivors? Listen, watch. Look for smoke, fire, movement. Move slowly. Caution is life. Curiosity is death. Water, the lifeline. Water is survival's foundation. Without it, communities collapse. Rainwater, collected after 2 weeks, safer than rivers. Filter, boil. Rivers and lakes, likely contaminated. Sediment filters, sand, charcoal, stone, reduce danger. Always boil. Stored water, guard it like gold. Do not waste. Every drop is sacred. Food, the long hunger. Supermarkets are stripped. Supply chains gone. But food remains, if you know where to look. Canned goods last years. Search abandoned homes, stores, warehouses. Dry staples, rice, beans, pasta. If dry and sealed, still good. Wild food, animals, fish, insects. Cook thoroughly. Farming, soil may be poisoned, but containers with clean soil or hydroponics can begin again. The long hunger can be beaten, but only by planning and patience. Medicine, fragile health, a cut, a fever, an infection. These now kill as surely as bombs. Clean every wound, no matter how small. Boil instruments. Sterilize with fire, alcohol, salt water. Save antibiotics for when death is certain without them. Radiation weakens immunity. Hygiene is survival. Community, the new civilization. No one survives alone forever. Sooner or later, you will find others, or they will find you. And the question becomes, how do you rebuild? Community is risk, but community is also strength. 10 can do what one cannot: hunt, farm, guard, heal, teach. The old world ran on money and machines. The new world will run on trust, barter, and skills. Food becomes currency. Medicine becomes treasure. Knowledge becomes power. Choose allies wisely. Broken trust kills faster than hunger. The new rules of survival. The rules of the old world are gone. Now, barter, not money. Skills, not titles. A doctor, a builder, a teacher, worth more than any banker or politician. Trust, not law. Written laws are gone. Human choices remain. Humanity stripped bare. Cruelty and kindness side by side. You must decide which side you will belong to. The mindset of a survivor. Survival is not just breathing, not just clinging to life. It is living with purpose. If you hoard scraps in darkness, waiting only to die, the bomb has already won. But if you choose to plant seeds, to teach, to write, to inspire, then even in ruins, you defeat it. A survivor without purpose is a shadow. A survivor with hope is the beginning of a new world. The legacy of the survivors. History remembers Hiroshima, a city of ash, a city of silence. And yet today, Hiroshima lives. Children laugh in its schools. Families walk its streets. From ruins, life returned. So it will be again. The bomb destroys buildings, but it cannot destroy spirit. Closing. The blast may tear down cities. The fallout may poison the earth. But as long as life endures, there is hope. Humanity has survived plagues, famines, wars, and disasters. It will survive this too. This is not the end of the world. It is the beginning of its rebirth. Welcome to the Age of Survival.